Hi everybody, I'm Paradise, and today we are going to work on a heart opening sequence. So these types of postures work really well to open up the entire front line of the body. That's chest, shoulders, abdomen, and our thighs. And then they also work really well to strengthen the back line of the body. So entire back as well as our glutes and our hamstrings. For this sequence, we will be using a strap. If you don't have a strap handy, a belt would work just as well. And then you could grab a couple of blocks if you have them, or a couple of thick books if you'd like a little support in balancing, as we will have some of those postures in this as well. Okay, let's get going. All right, so to get started, I'm gonna be sitting on my heels, which already begins this process of opening up the fronts of the thighs now, and stretching the ankles. Now this shape does not work for everybody. Some of us might find sitting on a block to be a little bit more comfortable, and some of us might like to use two blocks. So you can stack them just like so, and then come to have a seat on them. And then if this is still uncomfortable for you, I recommend that you just come into an easy pose. Yeah, so just sit up nice and tall in a comfortable seat. We are gonna be here for a bit, and this is just the beginning of the practice. So I don't want you suffering. And then we are gonna grab our strap or our belt, whichever it is that you're using, and we're gonna hold it taut in front of us. Now I will say, the wider you take the strap, the more ease with which you're gonna be able to move through the postures, and the shorter the grip, the more restricted the movement is. Now, it's up to you. I like to hold it, or at least start out with my hands slightly wider than the shoulders and kind of see what that feels like. We basically want to hold it in a way to where as we start to move up, we start to feel something, yeah, but not so strong of a sensation that we can't breathe through. And so I'm just kind of reaching up until I bump up against some sensation, and then I'm gonna slowly bring my arms down. So I'm not plowing all the way through, even though I can move all the way back. I'm easing my way into the posture, inhaling the arms up, and then exhaling nice and slow, bringing the strap down. We're gonna do this a few times, trying to get a little further back every time. And it might mean that you have to give yourself a little bit more slack as you go. Two more, we're trying to make it to the back space right behind our heart line, right behind the shoulder blades. And again, I'm using breath as I go. There's no rush or hurry. You could move a little bit slower or faster. I'm inhaling up, exhaling as the arms start to come down, pausing now at the back of the chest, and then inhaling the strap up, exhaling, releasing down. We're gonna do that again. Inhale, the strap moves up, all the way back behind us. This time we're gonna pause here. We're gonna add a little side to side, a little swivel here, if you will, to just get nice and deep into the front of the chest and the shoulders. Make sure you're breathing. And then we'll pause in neutral, and we're gonna bring the strap all the way down to the small of the back. Now make fists and hug in, engage your biceps here. Let's go ahead and release, let this go. We'll take a big breath in as the strap moves up. Exhale, the strap comes down. Again, inhale, strap moves up. Exhale all the way back to the small of the back. Take a breath in, make fists. And then go ahead and release, big inhale, take the arms out and up. Exhale all the way down. Lovely. You can move the strap out of the way. You might need it here in a bit, so just set it off to the side. And if you like, you can move the shoulders around just to ease any tension that might have caused in your neck and shoulders, yeah? All right, let's go ahead and find our way into a tabletop position, please. Hands and knees. Making sure that the fingers are spread out nice and wide, the knees are right underneath the hips. As you inhale, we'll lift the heart, lift the tailbone, let the belly soften down towards the ground. As you exhale, dome and round the back and press the ground away from you. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale, lift the heart, lift the tailbone. Exhale, dome and round the back, press the ground away from you. One more time, inhale, lift through the chest and the tail, belly softens down, your spine smiles. Exhale, we dome and round the back, press, press, press the ground away from you. And now let's go ahead and drop the hips back towards the child's pose. We'll take the knees a little bit wider for an extended variation of the posture, trying to feel the ribs on the insides of our thighs. Forehead down to the ground. If the ground feels far, you could always take a block underneath your forehead and bring the ground up to you. Bring a little bit more attention now to the back line of the body, the backs of the lungs. Let's take a big breath there. And out. One more time, big breath in. And exhale, let it go. Lovely. Coming all the way now onto our belly into what we call Sphinx pose. This is where our forearms make a number 11. We're propping ourselves up onto the elbows like you're watching TV. We're going to look forward for a moment and just really let the mid back kind of sink down here towards the mat. Take a big breath in as you exhale, nice and slow. We'll take the gaze over the right shoulder. We'll drop down, chin towards the armpit. Trace the entire line of the collarbone to your left armpit, left shoulder. And then we look forward and then go the other way. So left shoulder, left armpit. Nice and slow, tracing the collarbone to that right side and then back through center. Releasing now into hugging the earth pose. Your arms are gonna come into a cactus shape or a goalpost shape. Drop your right cheek down to the mat and draw your left knee towards the left elbow. And just give yourself a moment to pause and soften and surrender into the ground. Take as much awareness as you can to the front of your left thigh and just try to settle that towards the earth. One more big breath here and out. And then from here, we're going to extend our right arm long. Of course, you could stay here if this feels good and feels like plenty. But if you'd like a little bit more in the shoulders, that right arm is going to extend long. And we're going to start to roll onto this right side. Now, you get to decide what happens with this top leg. You could hook this left foot in front of. You could stack the legs, or you could bring it back behind. And just notice if you're holding tension in the neck. As much as you can, try to relax. Breathe into this. I will also say you could take that right arm a little lower towards your right leg here for a little less sensation. If you tend to want a little bit more sensation here, you could bend your elbow and take that elbow a little higher from the shoulder line. I'm good at 90 degrees, so I'm going to hang out here, and then on an exhale, we'll unravel. Coming into that hugging the earth pose on the second side. So it's going to be the left cheek down onto the mat. Again, my arms are in a goalpost position, drawing that right knee towards the right elbow, and just a couple of rounds of breath here to soften, to let the front of this right hip open up. And find your breath in this shape. Take another breath in and out. And then you could stay here. You could extend your left arm out to the left, just directly away from you. Again, a little lower for a little less, bending in the elbow and taking it a little higher for a little more. You get to decide what works for you, and then rolling onto this left side any amount, any position you like with this top leg. A couple of deep breaths here, breathing into sensation. Remember, if at any point in our practice you find that you cannot breathe, it's a good indication that you should do a little less. Let's take one more breath in. And then exhale, we'll unwind. Come on back through center. While we are here, we're going to do a couple more back bends, some cobra poses. So hands are going to come to frame the chest. They're as low as you can get them. And then the elbows hug in. The tops of the feet press into the ground here as you inhale, slowly peeling the heart up off the mat. And then exhale, set your spine down. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, lift up into cobra. Exhale, release, let it go. 1 more time. We're going to lift up into cobra pose. Exhale, release, let it go. Lovely. Let's stack the palms here and release the forehead. Just shimmy, shake the hips a bit side to side. These back bends tend to be really energizing for the nervous system. So we're also going to take time to soothe ourselves as we go along the way. Bending at the knees now, windshield wiper the shin side to side. These rocking, these side to side movements tend to be very therapeutic. And then we'll go ahead and release the legs long one more time. One more back bend while we're here, this time winging the arms back like airplane arms. And we're gonna float whatever we can, nose and toes. You might even think of this as like a Superman position, yeah? So bringing hands back behind you. It's like my pinky fingers wanna touch. They can't quite meet, but that's okay. We're here for one more breath in. And then exhale, release, let it go. Let's press back into a downward facing dog. So take as much time as you need to get there. There's no rush or hurry. And we'll curl the toes under, lift your knees and hips. Downward facing dog. And you might take a little time here for you. Move your body in any way that feels good. So let's take a big breath here together now. An audible open mouth exhale, let it go. And then walking the hands back towards the legs. Bend your knees as much as you need. Again, there's no rush or hurry. And when you do make it to your legs, we'll press against them. Hands can come onto the thighs or the shins. Roll the shoulder heads back. Think a heart opener here. And then exhale, release, let everything go. A moment or two in ragdoll, the arms will hang. We can grab opposite elbows here. A lot of bend in the knees, so spine takes priority at this point in the practice. We'll take another breath in together. If you have any sort of bind on this exhale, release and let it go. And let's slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. Please take your time. At the very top, we'll take a moment to stand tall and find Tadasana. So find your feet sitting bones distance apart. Make sure the toes are spread out wide. Think about engaging through the muscles of the legs, wrapping the inner thighs in and back, a lift in the low belly and the pelvic floor. With a big inhale, let's take the arms out and up. I'm gonna come to face you and mirror you here. So we'll take the arms out and up. From here, we're gonna grab on with our left hand to the right wrist and side bend over to the left. Think about pressing down through that right foot as you do this. Inhale, come on up through center and then over to the other side we go. Root, root, root through that left foot. Inhale, come on up, reach through your fingertips. Exhale, cactus the arms. From here, bring the hands back behind you and interlace the fingers. If that bind is not there, this is a great place to grab that strap. Or even if that bind feels constrictive, it might be nice to grab for that strap. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, we bow. So let the belly and thighs meet first and then work on extending through the legs, hands off the sacrum if you have them, and towards the ceiling. We're going to take one more breath in. Exhale, release the bind. With an inhale, one more time, press yourself away. And then exhale, release the hands down, walk yourself forward into a high plank position. Hold plank here for a breath in. Exhale, lower all the way down. You can always drop your knees first, as I just did, all the way down. And then one more time, we're gonna find locust. And here, you can again find those airplane arms or grab for that strap or interlace the fingers and then lift whatever you've got. So it would be nose, toes. And if you have the bind of the hands, they're also lifting off of the sacrum and reaching for the ceiling. Take one more breath here. Exhale, release, let it go with a big inhale all the way back, downward facing dog. Big breath in through the nose and a full breath out. All right, with an inhale, your right leg will rise. Exhale, bend knee, stack hips open. Take a big breath into the front of your right hip. Step your leg all the way forward and through. We're gonna walk this left foot in, take it a little further out to the left until you can get that back heel to the ground. And with a big inhale, we come to rise, warrior one. So in this warrior one, we want to really feel the strength of our legs rooting down in the ground and think about lifting through the low belly. We'll take a big breath in. As you exhale, bend your left elbow, take your right hand there. Big breath into your left side body. On an exhale, we side bend over to the right. Inhale is going to bring you back up through center. Reach through your fingertips. Exhale, we cactus the arms, hands come back behind you. Interlace the fingers, lift through your heart. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, we bow. Trying to get this right shoulder to the inside of the right thigh. The head is heavy, and then draw your right hip crease back. Take a big breath in and out. We're here for another inhale. Exhale, release the bind. Hands come down to the ground and we step that right leg back. So again, lowering down to the ground, you could drop the knees first or maybe they stay lifted as you lower all the way down. And then here we're gonna do another back bend. This time it's an unbound bow. So bending into the knees and reaching back like we're gonna grab our ankles, but we're not gonna quite bind. And this is actually more challenging than a bound bow. This is a lot of work for the back muscles and a lot of work for the nervous system, trying to maintain that slow, steady breathing as we hang out here for one more in. Exhale, release, let it go with a big inhale all the way back, downward facing dog. Take a big breath in and sigh it out. With an inhale, your left leg will rise. Exhale, bend knee, stack hips open. Take a big breath into the front of this left hip. Exhale all the way forward and through. Again, walk the right foot in and then take it a little further out to the right till that heel comes down to the ground. And then from here, we root to rise to come all the way up. Once again, into this warrior one position here on the left side now. We'll bend at the right elbow. My hair is doing something funny. We'll bend at the right elbow. Take your left hand there. Take a big breath in. Exhale, we side bend over to the left and breathe. Big breath in and out. Inhale is going to bring us back up, reaching through the fingertips. Exhale, cactus the arms. Bring your hands back behind you. Look for a non-dominant grip. And then we'll lift through the heart. And if you're uncertain, find your regular grip and then do it the other way. We also call this the stranger grip, but a moment to find a heart opener here. So lift through your chest. Make sure to engage your belly as you do this to support the lumbar spine. We'll take a big breath in, exhale to bow, humble. The left shoulder is moving to the inside of the left thigh. Head is heavy. We're finding our breath in this shape. Take one more breath in. Exhale, release the hands down. Step it back. Big breath into your plank. Exhale all the way down to the mat. All right, from here, we're going to take our right hand underneath our forehead. Just make a little pillow here for your forehead. And we're going to bend at the left knee and look for a quad stretch. So grabbing for the left ankle. Think about lifting through your low belly as you do this, drawing the inner thighs in towards one another. They don't have to touch. We just want to feel some engagement there in the inner thigh muscles and really drawing this heel as close to our butt as we can. And if you can't grab the ankle, this is again another good place for that strap. Take a big breath here and then release, let this go. Let's do that on the other side. So the left palm now becomes a pillow, or the left hand, the back of this left hand, bending into that right knee, grabbing for the right ankle and drawing this right heel towards our butt. And breathing into the front of the right thigh. The more you can think about lifting through that low belly, the deeper you're going to get into this thigh. Take another breath in and let it go. Nice release, let that go. From here, you can do any back bend that you wish. We've done quite a few. Yeah, or you could build an upward dog from the ground. So you might plant the palms. As a reminder, an up dog is just my palms and the tops of my feet that are pressing into the earth. We lift the heart and then exhale, send the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Take a big breath in. Take a full breath out. With an inhale, your right leg will rise. One more time, we'll bend knee, stack, hips open, yawn your hips open. Exhale all the way forward and through. We're gonna stay high on the ball of the back foot this time and come to rise into a warrior one. I will say we're gonna move into a balancing posture from here. So if you know that you like to have some blocks handy for that, this might be a good time to go ahead and grab them and set them near the top of the mat. If you're comfortable balancing on one leg, today, yeah, it changes day to day. You can skip that. So a moment to find high crescent. Again, we're loading up the muscles of the legs, working on strengthening there, lifting up energetically from pelvic floor to crown. And then we're going to shift over to this right leg. I will say having arms overhead is going to be most challenging. And then having hands onto blocks or palms together at the heart is going to be the most accessible. So you decide where you're going to go. I'm going to keep hands at the heart here today. So drawing this right hip crease back, I'm going to load up onto this right leg. And as you're ready, we will take flight. There's a tendency for this left hip to lift. Just notice if that's happening for you. If so, see if you can drop that left hip down. It's quite heavy. Sometimes I like to actually find the position here with my hands on some support and then work on balancing there. Slowly coming all the way up into a one-legged stance, into a one-legged mountain here. So invitation to stay here, or heel glute, looking for another quad stretch. Right hand could be at the heart, left hand coming in onto this ankle and finding a quad stretch. If you are working the quad stretch, the thighs are drawing towards one another and this left knee is gonna draw back so that our knees are in line. Try not to lock out that right knee. I just caught myself wanting to do that. So keep some engagement here and some buoyancy in your joints. Another option here is to find dancer. So you could grab the big toe side of the foot, kick the foot into the hand. You could extend your right arm in opposition. It can come out in front of you or overhead while you kick this left foot into the hand to find your way into this big back bend. Be mindful. Take another breath in wherever you are, and then we're gonna release. You might come out of the pose as I just did and find your way back, but we're gonna release into a one-legged chair. Left ankle over right thigh. You have some options here. This is a lot of work for this right side. If you'd like to take your hands down to blocks and work a little bit more into stretching this outer left hip, this is a great option. If you want to keep building strength, working on balance, you could keep hands at the heart here for your figure four standing or one-legged chair. Take one more breath wherever you are and out. And then we're gonna release our left shin forward to the right. We're standing in a crisscross position. My pinky toes are moving towards one another. And then walk your entire torso. And you can bring your blocks with you. Maybe your fingertips are on the ground. But move your entire torso to the left. Let the head hang and draw your right hip crease back. Take a big breath in and a full breath out. And then we're gonna find our way back through center. Re-step, left foot next to right. And then here, press against thighs, shins get long. Exhale, release, let that go, bend your knees. Let's find chair pose and hang out and breathe in chair. Take a big breath in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press against thighs, shins get long. Exhale, release the hands down, step or hop your feet to the back of the mat. From here, high to low push-up or all the way down to the ground. Inhale, up dog cobra. I'm doing a cobra. Let's all release down onto our bellies. Again, make a little pillow here, stacking the palms, and release your forehead. Shimmy, shake the hips a bit side to side. Bending at the knees, we'll windshield wiper the shin side to side. Lovely. We'll pause here. So coming back to another bow, which could be done as we did before without the bind, or if it works in your body to grab the ankles, then please do so and then kick the feet into the hands. And here we're gonna hang out and breathe, couple of rounds of breath. Again, trying to keep that breath steady and smooth. While we add in this work, you're here for one more breath in. Exhale, release, let it go with a big inhale all the way back, downward facing dog. Take a big breath in through the nose. An audible open mouth exhale, let it go. All right, second side with an inhale, your left leg will rise. Exhale, bend knee, stack hips open. Take a big breath here. Exhale all the way forward and through. High on the ball, the back foot. With a big inhale, we come to rise, high crescent. So giving ourselves a moment to pause and to be still and to collect ourselves and decide how you like to take flight. Will the arms stay overhead as you go? Will they come out of the equation? Are they gonna come onto your blocks as you're ready? Shifting forward onto that left leg, we will take flight. Again, mindful of that right hip. Try to drop it down. You can think about the inner right thigh spinning in and up towards the ceiling. Long line of energy from crown to your right heel, coming all the way up to standing for a one-legged mountain, a quad stretch, or dancer pose. You decide where you'd like to work. My ask is that you find an expression of the shape that you can breathe in, but is interesting. Take another breath in wherever you are. Exhale, we release, right ankle over left thigh. Ekapada Utkatasana, a one-legged chair. Hanging out, breathing here. Again, you could take hands down to blocks. I've been loving releasing hands down to blocks or the mat in this shape as it's a really, really nice outer hip stretch. Couple of deep breaths, big breath in and out. And then let's release into this crisscross. So right shin forward of the left, we'll press against thigh, shins get long. Exhale, release the torso, and we'll walk the entire torso over towards the right as you draw your left hip crease back. Let the head hang. Breathe into it. And then come on back through center, reset into a chair pose. So we are getting ready to move down to the mat from here, and we're not getting back up. I will say if you'd like to add another vinyasa here, this would be a nice opportunity for that. If you like playing with Bakasana, crow pose, if that's something that is in your wheelhouse and you like to explore today, you're welcome to do that. Take your time. But as you're ready, we will slowly come down to the mat, and we might try to do it without using our hands, finding our way into boat pose. As a reminder, there's lots of options here for this shape. You can grab on, you can have your feet down on the ground, or maybe the arms are released, maybe the legs are long. The ask is that the heart stays lifted. We're trying not to have a sinking boat, and we really want to feel this work mostly in the belly as opposed to the hip flexors. Take a couple of big breaths here with me. Take a big breath in and out. Again, in and out. Lovely. Make sure you have a block near you. We're about to use it, or a book, right? As you slowly find your way down onto the mat, you might hit a low boat before you come all the way down. Let's stretch and reach. Fingertips away from the toes. Get as long as you possibly can. On and exhale, the knees into the belly. Give yourself a little squeeze, maybe a little rock here, side to side. We'll set the feet down onto the mat about sitting bones distance and get the heels as close to your butt as feels comfortable. And then this is a nice place to grab a block, slide it in between your thighs. Maybe it's a thick book, maybe it's just your imagination. And then as you're ready, arms alongside body. With an inhale, we're gonna lift up into bridge pose and breathe here. Couple of rounds of breath in this shape. As you inhale, think about drawing your chest a little bit closer towards your chin. As you exhale, squeeze your block or imaginary block. You can always walk the shoulders underneath you if you'd like a little bit more work. Maybe grab outer edges of the mat and pull. We're here for 2 more breaths. Big breath in and out. Again, in and out. Lovely. One more big inhale. Exhale, release everything down to the mat. Let's go ahead and grab our prop and set it out to the side. From here, right ankle over left knee, left thigh. Big flex in this ankle. You can stay here or draw the left leg in, reaching through your figure 4 for your yoga pants, thigh, or shin. You can always use a strap also around this left leg as a way to extend the arms and draw this leg a little bit closer in. A couple of deep breaths here into the outer right hip. Big breath in and out. And then releasing the bind of the arms. If you have them, we're gonna let knee and foot fall over to the left. Extend your right arm out to the right, and you can take your gaze in that direction as well. So my knees and feet are going in the opposite direction as my gaze to really allow my spine an opportunity to fully release, to fully wring out. With an inhale, we'll wrap the belly back through center. Release that right foot, let's do the other side. Left ankle over right thigh, an invitation to stay, or draw that right leg in, reach through your figure 4, grab whatever's available to you, and breathe into this. Big breath in and out. Thinking about drawing this left knee forward. We're here for one more breath in and out. Releasing the bind of the arms. If you have it, we'll let knee and foot fall over to the right. Extend your left arm out to the left and take your gaze in that direction. So opposite of where our knees and feet are. And breathing into the body. Nice. With an inhale, we'll come back through center. Unwind, unbind from here. Perhaps happy baby, which might be just hands behind the thighs or onto the shins. Maybe we're grabbing for the outsides of the feet, or really any symmetrical posture that feels good for you before we find our way into Shavasana, our final resting posture. Allow your legs to extend long, your arms to come alongside body, eyes closed, and let's really turn the gaze inward. Nice, deep, full belly breath here, all the way down into the lowest part of your belly. And sigh it out. Now, if you have time, please feel free to stay here as long as you wish. And if you need to move on with your day as you're ready, slowly go ahead and bring yourself up to a seat. You might give yourself a moment here in seated meditation, palms together at the heart, bowing in, practicing a bit of gratitude. Thank yourself for taking time for you. And know that I'm ever so grateful to get to be a part of your journey. Thanks for joining me today.